Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a plugin called Dehancer. Let's go! Welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for being here. Like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about a plugin for DaVinci Resolve specifically. It is out for other platforms, but this one today is going to be about DaVinci specific, and at the end of the video we're also going to run through some additional plugins or additional software that they've brought out just recently for iOS. So I'm going to be demonstrating it on the iPad, and then also they've got Dehancer Online. So a few disclaimers straight off the bat. Dehancer did reach out to me. No money was exchanged. They asked for a review of the program and an honest review. No bias. They want to know basically all the ins and outs and the way that I feel about it, just in case there's anything that they may need to change, or if there's any discrepancies or any workflows that could be improved. Just a full unbiased review. And to be honest, I'm probably quite a good candidate, I'm not going to lie, because I'm not really a colorist. I'm not a purist, and I don't know whether anybody else does it, but whenever I'm color grading, I usually I usually grade it to a certain look, and then I'll be like, nah, and put it back to normal. I usually like everything to look straight out of camera. But just recently I have noticed a few content creators, filmmakers, whatever you want to call it, each other, put out some content, and I really do like it's not vintage, but it's kind of a bit more warm in the shadows. And then when Dehancer reached out to me, I was like, yep, happy days, let's go for it, see what happens. Before we crack on with the video, I do have a 10% off code, which is BBDIG10 for your 10% discount, which is valid for all Dehancer products. I will link that in the description below, and obviously you can see it here on the screen as well. And like in the other videos where I'm in the studio, I have a car here straight off the bat. We'll usually do it at the end of the video, but we're going to do it at the start of the video. Comment below what this car is. That's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of Easter egg within the video. I just recently got this for my Hot Wheels collection. I do have some other Hot Wheels collections up here, but yeah, this little Easter egg right here without knocking it over. Comment below what type of car that is. So what is Dehancer? Basically, it's like a film emulation kit to make digital footage or digital photos look like analog, old school film vibes. They have 30 years of analog experience, and they've put all of their experiences together to create it's pretty seamless. I sound like a bit of an advert, but it is pretty seamless from start to finish within the software to titivate, great word of the day, your footage to make it look a bit more vintage. And we'll go into the different bits and pieces as we go along, but that's just a little bit of an overview. I am actually really buzzing for this. I don't really do much with like add-ons and plugins and stuff like that, but just recently I wanted to get a specific look with car stuff. I have an old school Formula, not Formula One, but a Formula racing car from like 60s and 70s that's also on my Instagram, which I'll put here in the description below. So I have a screenshot from a video I did a while back, and because it's old school, it does look great. When in my testing, the vintage vibes looks great. Comment below if you agree, but we'll move on to that towards the end of the video. Like I said at the start, this review is based off of the DaVinci workflow, which I'll be going to, but it does work on Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, and much more. Just check out the website. I'll leave a link in the description below for the website, and all of the user guides and everything else is on there. And before we move on, I would just ask you kindly to subscribe and hit that like button. This is my new channel and every little helps to get the algorithm pushing forward. One of my previous videos that's just been posted, which is about the RWB Porsches, which I'll link up here. That's literally just kicking off. It's like my 10th video, my 11th video, 10th video I think, and it just started to kick off. So appreciate everybody having a gander at that, and yeah, like and subscribe and all those cool things. And let's move on into the software. We are now in DaVinci. This, please ignore the timeline. This is not a workflow video. This is not how I usually do my nodes trees, but I just wanted to put a very quick slight correction, shall we say, on some of these clips, just to get the clips slightly ready. This is not, like I said, full workflow, so please chill out of the way that I'm doing this grading. Basically, what you need to do for the workflows, you need to have, cheers for that, put some footage together. You need to have your nodes and your footage ready to good to go, nice and balanced, and then the last node will be the Dehancer. Don't need to put a color transformation or a CST, color space transformation node on there. I'll show you in a minute with the Dehancer. You put your input footage, and to be honest, I'm not going to lie, there's some stuff in the some options in there for DGI, which I'll come on to, that isn't in the color space transformation, which is mega, to be honest. There's so many different options in there, so that's quality. All these effects are massively heavy on your laptop. I have a 2020, I think it's a 2020 MacBook Pro, the M1 chip, so it's not the latest and greatest. And it seems to be working right at the moment, but more than likely when we sort of look into it, it may lag a little. But I have heard before that it's fine during the actual process, but when it comes to exporting could take like 3 times, 4 times as long. We're not going to do any exports today because this is just demonstration purposes, but I just thought I'd want to mention that it will increase, obviously, the lag when you're doing exporting. So just bear that in mind if you're on a time crunch for a client or something like that. So this very first clip that I've got on here, like I said, don't judge me on the workflow. This is not how I usually do the workflow. I just wanted to put it as some sort of barely exposed. It was filmed on a log profile within the DJI Air 2S, and I can't find the correction within DaVinci normally when I use a color space transform, but like I said earlier, you can do it within this Dehancer film look. So we're going to move on to the last node here, and just a little bit of background. This sequence is for a mini, as in a small Austin or a Rover Mini classic car video that I did for a friend. So I've got 4 variations of cameras. I've got the Air 2S, the Avata, the Osmo Pocket 3, and the R5. So I'll be able to show you briefly what you can do on each color space profile. Here we're going to put the Dehancer plugin onto the node. As you can see, it's changed it straight away because the source is off. So like I said, straight away, all of this is all like workflow chronological, if you want to call it that. That's another reason why I like it so much. So what we're going to do here, choose my camera. It is a DJI, It's the Air 2S, but if I have a look through here, look at all of these DJI profiles. Pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Like the Action 2 is pretty old. So it's the Air 2S. It was filmed in D-Log. It looks a bit random at the moment here because the film is enabled. A few of these are already enabled like that, so you can take these off, take that off, go back up here, take that off. So if I take that off now, look, it's quite harsh now that it's added its color space, if you want to call it that. So you may have to adjust, once you've done that, you may have to adjust, obviously, each clip, do you want to call it that? Each node, sorry. But for this, I'm just going to go through it and show you what you can do. So you can change the exposure on here. You can go back to changing the temperature. Let's go back, adjust those, change the tint, defringe, all of that good stuff. Now, if you wanted to put, look at all of these, look. If you wanted to put the film, what do you call it, profile, all of these, some quality, not that one, but there are some quality, look at that one's a nice one. Let's take that off, look, that takes the edge slightly off of it. So we're going to leave that on there for now, as we go through. And you got the film developer boost. So you can boost it on, oh, it's not even enabled, what a loser. So you can boost, obviously, the, how much it boosts the contrast, sorry. Gamma correction, change that. Color separation, in between. Some of these, they don't do too much, I'm not going to lie, but you'll have to get right in there, and have a gander. There we go. They probably work when you've got that above and that above. There we go, you can kind of see it now. It's almost like, not, I was going to say it's like split toning, but it's not. But that's what that does. Let's go back. Oh, it's DaVinci, come on, sort yourself out. There we go, fit. And you've got film compression. Oh, I keep forgetting to enable because I took them all off. It's kind of like, it looks like clarity. The white point, obviously changing the white point in there. The tonal range, so it's a bit more, adds a bit more contrast. There's some people in there, there's going to be some people watching this that are like film gods and gurus, and they're going to be like, this guy, what is he talking about? I've never done anything with wet film before, so please ignore and disregard my ignorance. I'm just obviously going through the review of this. The bits at the top, I would say, the bulk of these ones right at the top, and the first bit is to get the initial look, and then the further you go down, you'll be able to change the creative side of it, shall we say? Not the creative side. It is kind of the visual creative bit with halation and stuff like that. So what we're going to go move down a bit more. So expand. What's that doing? That's expanding the latitude of the highlights and shadows. You can see that quite a bit. Just going to leave it the way it is for now. Majority of them I've left the way it is, to be honest. You'll probably be able to see. Done a little bit. Does looks better now. I'm not happy with the sky color though. I would get rid of. It's too green, so I would change that. But for this demonstration, we're just going to go through it. Print. So this is basically if you were I need to enable it. God's sake, keep forgetting to enable it. Apologies. So this is like to emulate different printing. As you can see here, look, print and film, like when you're developing them. I quite liked the Fujifilm, or was it the Kodak? It must have been Kodak. I like that. Let's turn that on and off. Yeah, it's quite punchy, that one. Quite punchy. Pardon me. And you can change the saturation on here as well. Let's get that on there. Analog range. Oh, that's nice. So you can see in the waveform here, look, the analog range limiter, because to simulate film, obviously same with analog, you've only got same with digital, you've only got a certain amount of latitude within the dynamic range. So the range limiter is just to obviously keep it in check. The color head, now I'm not 100% about the color head. In my head, the color head is to do with printing, and you would change, if I enable it, you change the tint depending on, so with photos, if you're printing something out and then you're comparing, and you can see one's more magenta, one's more green, one's more cyan, then in here you can fine adjust each way to then obviously correct the print. But this is a video, so we'll ignore that bit for now. Film grain, you can add a ton of film grain. I'm not going to add too much into it, but I want to do 8mm so that you can see the. Hang on, let me move. It's not going to let me do it. Very annoying. Sometimes on DaVinci, I wanted to focus on this tree so we can see the grain on and off. So look, let's turn it on and off, and you can change it to less or more, and obviously depending on what film you're using depends on how fine the your creative grain is. Look at the 65mm, which is medium format, compared to 8mm. 8mm's wild, big chunks. But we'll leave that on for now. And then halation. Move on halation, but this is not really the right clip to test out halation. Basically what halation would do, if you had, let's just put this back. Halation is, you would have like, it's not blooming because that's slightly different. It's like ghosting kind of on the edges if you had bright lights. Let's see if we can simulate it on here. There we go. Look, you can see. You might have seen before with old film footage. You get the orange within the light leaks. And halation is obviously, and now you can blimmin' see it. Holy moly! So that's halation. Let's put that back. Jeez. Right. Let's. Wow. You can see. Yeah, that's quite a bit. We'll have a look on some different footage. I'm going to turn that off for now. That's wild. Blooming is usually just in the highlights. Blooming. So let's put that. Oh. Let's put that to 8mm. It's amplified, and if I turn that on and off, you can kind of see it. It's almost like a glow rather than a tinted glow like halation is. Film damage, this is cool. I like the film damage. So a lot easier to see when it's a video. So what I'll do, if I put it to 8, I will put it up, enable it. If you look here, the black bits, and then when I play it, you can see the what do you call it, bits of dust, damage, all that good stuff. If I turn it off, there we go, you can see it on and off. Film breathing is just where the film it kind of changes color. Let's put it to 8 to emphasize it. You can see it go different colors. It's like proper old school. Oh no, what am I doing here? Come on, go back. What I'll do is I'll put this on loop so you can see it's it change. What are you doing? I need to put the, bear with, timeline. Let's put a workflow loop in there. Loop. It's gonna work. Nope, still not working. That's annoying. Oh yeah, okay. You can kind of see it now. So we've got grain, and we've got, it goes like magenta green, and that is the film breathing effect. Let's turn that off so you can see the next one. Gate weave is basically where the, let's put it to super 8. I've always put it on 8 mil because it's the most obvious one that you can see. It moves. I quite like this one. You can see it moving around a little bit as if the film is moving, like jittering around. And then we'll move on to, I'll turn that off and move on to overscan. So overscan, if I enable it, is, as you can see there, it puts the frame. So it's, you have scanned over the actual film, so you get both. So you can have different effects. Like you've got 8 mil, standard, super, ultra, super 35, widescreen, nice, pan, nice, pan, that's nice, and then the gate shape, got all these different gate shapes, sick. Oh, I love these little effects, all of it so far. Like, I'm not being biased because obviously I'm doing a review, but yeah, I'm buzzing for this sort of stuff. Look at this, classic. And then obviously, like you can see on here, like you can change the exposure of the actual, what do you call it? The actual frame on the outside. Lens zoom. What does it do if I play it? Is it? It doesn't actually move. I thought it might move in between, but it's not. Flip. What's flip do? Flip doesn't really do much. Static gate. Oh, okay, let's. Oh, static. I thought it might move a little bit. Scale. No, let's turn that off. Lens zoom, offset. No, let's change that back. Gate defocus. Oh, that's oh, I like that. Yes, I like that one. See here, look, on the edge, the defocus of the gate. I much prefer that one to be like that. Turn that on and off. That was cool though. Vignette. Everyone knows what vignetting is. Turn it on. You can change loads of different types. Obviously, bits of the vignette in old school. So let's turn that one off. Monitor. Don't know, what does the monitor do? Oh no, nice. False color. Got a lot of time for that. False color and clipping indication. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I am quite surprised. Let's have a look in it. I am quite surprised that I can't see any clipping. Let's see if we can make it. Let's see if we can make it clip. Let's move that. Oh, let's change that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we've got a clip-in indication. Nice. Happy with that. I would have said that's clipped by eyeball. Obviously you can see here on the scopes it's not. But there we go. And then the output is basically the intensity of, like, the global, if you want to call it that, in DaVinci terms, the whole effect going on as you do it. And then what I really like at the bottom here, I haven't, just full disclaimer, I haven't made any LUTs yet. It's something that I want to work on towards the end of the year to actually create some LUTs and some photography presets. But I'm finding my way first, because I don't want to rush into it, because some LUTs just look absolutely horrific, and you've obviously got to go through S-log, C-log, F-log, D-log, all of that good stuff. I don't just want to put out random crap and cheap stuff that's just not going to work properly. I'd rather take my time and do it properly. So with that out of the way, here we've got a LUT generator, which is pretty damn good, and obviously you can choose the size of it. Basically, if you don't know what a LUT is, it's called a lookup table. In layman's terms, it's a preset. You still have to correct your footage properly first, and the LUT is a creative preset that you put on afterwards. But the LUTs have to be specific to your camera. You can't just wax. You can if you want, but it would just ruin it, and you have dramas when you export and play on different screens and stuff like that, and displays. So just research LUTs before you just slap them on. Pardon me. And then right at the bottom we've got options for quality. Oh my god, pardon me. Got normal, fast, high and slow. So for the for the quality of the effects and stuff like that. That's all the way through there. For all of these tables, I've obviously shown you through this. That was for that was for the DJI Air 2S. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this effect. I'm going to go to the Osmo. I'm going to stick it on there. I'm going to change this to Osmo Pocket 3. And now you can see everything that I added, all of the effects that I added to the Air 2S footage, I've now added to the Osmo footage. Oh no, I'm still on loop, aren't I? So let's go here, and you can see all of the film effects that I put on the Pocket 3. Oh, a little bit of a preview there of the video I'm working on at the moment. That's going to come out a week after this upload. So I've got to film this, edit this, and then edit this bad boy. And I've turned the audio off because I want that to be a surprise as well. So as you can see, just copy and paste straight on to the third node, the last node, the end node, and then you just change your input, your input profile. And I'm going to do the same again for the avatar, as you can see here. So we're going to go on to the last one, copy that, change this to, oh, it's not going to have the avatar. It's got the Mavic 3, the Mavic Air 2S, I think. I can't remember whether the Osmo Action 5 is out. Let me have a quick look. 5. When did the 5 come out? Did I know that the 5 came out? Maybe I did know that. So the Osmo Action 5 came out September the 19th. Wow. Maybe I did know that. Last year, 2024. It hasn't got Osmo 4. Sorry, it hasn't got Osmo 5 on there. Wow. Let's put Action 4. It's quite brighter. Okay, you might have to do some homework for that. But I'm going to put it as the Osmo Action 4. Because I cannot remember which sensor it is that they use in the Avatar. Because this is the Avatar 1, which is also a different sensor to the Action. So the Avatar 1 is a different sensor to the Avatar 2. And I know that the Action 4, oh sorry, the Action 5, I'm pretty sure the Action 5 is supposed to be very, very similar to the Avatar 2. Wow, got that out of the way. So I'm going to put it on the Osmo Action 4. As you can see, the effects that I've put on it. Nice bit of motion blur, to be fair. Let's play that. I would color correct a little bit here. I think it's quite blue. Let's change that off. Wow, look at this. Desaturated to death. So that's the original footage. So yeah, I would adjust some things. Maybe if you came all the way down to the bottom, look, you can take it off slightly. But yeah, I would go through this way more than I am now. Obviously, this would be hours long if we were going to do it properly. And then finally, the R5 footage. Where are you? Here's the R5 footage. So let's put it on here. So let's try and find Canon C200. Nice. So the R5. Whoa, that's a beast. So this, we check Tesla stock. So the input is Cine Gamut C-Log 3 Cine Gamut. It is indeed. Let me just have a quick look. That's going to blast it. So let's turn them off. Oh. Yeah, that's wild. I would have to I would have to go in and let's make a couple of adjustments, shall we? So on the curves, curves are good. Let's go back here and take off some of the saturation, equal the saturation back out. I would just put this back to normal for now. Whoa, boost, temperature, tint, let's put it all back to normal. As you can see, look, on and off. Very dark. What I would do is just brighten it up a little bit. Obviously, like I said before, this is not my newest, my usual workflow. I just wanted to try and level it out a little bit. There we go. I don't want it too flat. I have friends that are colorists and they will be going absolutely wild at me. But it's just a demonstration that you can, this is the beauty of using nodes, you can go in and change in individual little bits here and there. Obviously you can change it on this as well if you wanted to. And like I said, this setup was how I liked the look, slightly liked the look for demonstration purposes for the DJI footage. So obviously it's going to be completely different for the Canon footage. But that, in a nutshell, is the basic workflow of the different buttons here and there on Dehancer. I'm going to have a crazy play on this. It's going to take me forever to get it on each individual bit on here, but that's the beauty of color grading. It's not supposed to be a quick process where you just slap stuff on. So there's a difference between color correction and color grading. Color grading is basically the final touches of how you want it to look afterwards, the mood, all that good stuff. And color correction is getting it, the primaries, the color squared away like it should be before you then start doing all of these different adjustments. But that, in a nutshell, is the bulk of Dehancer, the program. It's probably quite a long video by now, but whilst I am screen recording on the laptop, I'll show you the Dehancer film emulation online. So as you can see on here, this is another part of their program that they've got. And basically, this is the online version. It looks a bit like Millernote. Click on here. I'll pick some stills from, let's pick a still from the other day. And let's go some of the stuff that I've only just put out. Part 2, look. Edit. So let's go with let's go for an old school. Oh, let's go. I do like this one or this one. Let's go for this one. So we're going to open it up. Now, what it's going to do, as you can see here, so these are the featured film looks. It tells you up here to scroll or pinch to zoom, and drag to navigate. Pick your poison. And what I'm doing is I'm dragging with my, so I'm moving around here and then I'm scrolling the colour film to move down the colour film. You've got black and white film, all that good stuff. Now, I don't know how I feel. Obviously, like, these are the quick wins that they're going to show you. I don't know how I feel that they've got all of this. It makes my eyes go a bit wild. But then the flip to that is I do quite like how you can see them almost side by side if you wanted to. So I do like that. But to start with, when I first started using this, I was just like, I'm not sure you should have everything like this. It will become more apparent in a minute once I've picked something of why I feel like that. So let's go for, that's quite normal, I would say, which I quite like that it's normal. You should be able to do, can I do before and after? Presets, oh no, so I've done that. Light, okay, so this is what I was on about. So like, I don't know, I'm not a fan. I don't know whether I'm a fan or not of you being able to see the whole bloody lot, like all of it. Maybe if you zoomed in and then, I don't know, maybe it does work actually. I don't know. And I also don't know what's the original look like. Let's go for this one. It's quite bright actually. Ah, there we go. Original. Okay, so that's the original. On and off. Nice. I quite like the original. So the reason why I took it like this is because I wanted to emphasize for the highlights and keep it quite underexposed. So let's put it like that. So we've done the presets, we've done the light, now the color. So obviously you can see the change in the tint, but I'm not going to do anything to the color, so I'm just going to take that off. And then the effects. This is the film effects that we saw in DaVinci, so we can add a ton of grain look. There we go. So you've added loads of grain, and I can turn it on and off. It take a little while, I guess. Oh, there we go now. I was going to say it takes a while on and off. I quite like it now that it's got grain on it. Ah, naughty. The bloom. Let's turn the grain off for now though. The bloom. Let's see it on and off. Let's whack it up and see what the bloom does. You can kind of see it on here. It's hard to tell because it's white. Kind of see it there. Let's leave that on for now. Halation. Halation's going to be a beast, I expect. Let's whack halation all the way up. Let's turn bloom off actually, so that you can see what halation's doing. Oh, it's hardly doing anything. You can see it on the number here. Look. This dude's pretty cool, by the way. I wish I had a better picture of him looking for it, but lovely car. So let's turn that off for now, I'd say. And then vignette, normal vignette. Let's turn them all on for now. And grain. Let's whack them all on. And then obviously you'd be able to change the vignette feather back and forth. You can kind of see it now. definitely prefer a feathered vignette. Let's do that. Cool. And obviously you can reset down there. So let's turn that one off. As you can see, the original look like that. I do like the original, not gonna lie. And then vintage style, with grain, halation, the lot. And as you move along, fit and fill, you can adjust everything, but I don't want to do that because I've already edited it. Upload, oh, that's to upload a new one. And then export, as you can see here, lossless, so the best quality, max resolution, best quality JPEG, and then optimized for web. So I do like that. I do like this, I'm not going to lie. I do wonder what it's for though. Why you would use this instead of Lightroom. To be fair, now that I've just thought about it, this would be quite good if you don't want to get yourself involved into the Adobe ecosystem, because that can be wild with cash monies. So yeah, actually I've got a lot of time for that it's online. Please check the current prices of Dehancer, because I'm not 100% sure on prices of various different bits and pieces of what you pay for on subscription. But I will remind you, if you do decide to go through this, because I think this so far, this is class, not gonna lie, I do have a 10% discount, just another reminder. But what we're going to do now is move on to the iPad version. So I'm going to close my laptop. This might be one of the best demonstrations for this program on iOS and its capabilities, because what you can see here is a photo that's a JPEG taken on my phone of the screen of my laptop. So its quality is not great. The screen of my laptop, and the footage is straight out of camera for Canon C-Log 3 flat profile footage that looks obviously grey and flat. So we're going to hop into this now and have a gander. So this is the iPad. So I don't know if the iPhone's exactly the same. So this is the iPad. You've got along the bottom here, slightly different than the online that I've just shown you, Dehancer Online, but very, very similar effects. This is the film simulations. What I'm going to do for this, I think I'm going to go quite old school, like not as far as that, I was going to say Instax. And then the bloom, I only want a little bit, look at that, it's wild, that one, the bloom. What I might do is, I might turn it up a bit, then go back to the exposure, turn the exposure down, look, so that when the halation's on and off and the bloom's on and off, it's not too wild. Vignette, let's add a bit of vignette, feather, size. It's reverse vignette. I do like a bit of reverse vignette. Film damage, yes. Let's get a bit of old school film damage in there. Full frame, half frame. Half frame's cool, and you can obviously whack loads on there. Look at that. Overscan. Do we want overscan? Let's put Super 8. Sharp, rounded. No, let's go back to normal. Negative or positive. Let's go negative. Let's go back to that. Keep it in there. Gate. Don't want to flip it. Oh, defocus. That's what I liked before, wasn't it? I went wild with that one. Defocus looks sick. Look at that. I'm not going to lie. If I hold, so on your iPad, if you just hold the screen down, you can go on and off. Not even going to lie. Like, you, I don't know. That looks pretty legit when it's old school like that. I got a lot of time for that. But yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm loving this. Loving this on the iPad as well. Very, very intuitive. Like I said though, right at the start, it's kind of a fun thing, and you don't have to use it on everything, and I wouldn't use it on everything, because if you're going for stylistic stuff, they wouldn't necessarily have it like on. You wouldn't use it for everything. Do you know what I mean? It's very much niche. Like, I wouldn't go. I don't know, where would I use it? Let's say I was going to Goodwood Festival of Speed, but it was the what's the retro one? I can't remember what it's called now. The old school retro one where everyone dresses up in old school stuff. It's got all the classic cars and stuff. If you did like 2 packages for the client, you did like a normal package that's a bit more like this with the colour and toned down, and then you went full on old school and it was all themed like this one on the iPad. I'm not sure that you'd be able to tell unless you delved in deep with the guy's shoes, or like if you saw a watch, or if you saw something that's specifically dated, that you'd necessarily know that that wasn't an old footage or old picture. So yeah, I don't do this very often, so I'm pretty buzzing, I'm not going to lie. So in summary then, we're going to talk about the pros and cons. The pros, I would say, is that these, because of the experience of the people, it has authentic film emulation and extensive customization. Like, the amount of things you can do, there's not a chance, unless you obviously save stuff, there's not a chance someone else is going to necessarily copy what you've done. There's so much customization. There's a wide range of film profiles, and the amount of creative flexibility, banging. And also what I love is the seamless integration within DaVinci. The fact that obviously it's a plugin, it's just straight in there, and you haven't got to export, add a few things, bring it back in, all that good stuff. It's just straight in there. Some of the cons then, it might be resource heavy, like we talked about if you were adding some extra effects and stuff. And when it comes to exporting, it could take a lot longer, will take a lot longer. So just something to think about. The learning curve for beginners, you don't want to put all the sliders up to 100% because it looks wild, but it does take time. Like I said, when you're doing individual clips, you can, what you could do is, if everything's shot on exactly the same camera, same time of day, same conditions, or it's all controlled, and on DaVinci you've done color correction for every single clip, you then flip it to your timeline option and you just do one node for the Dehancer to get your look across the whole timeline. But then I would still go back through, obviously, like you would anyway, and check everything, because what you don't want to do is slap something on that's just going to be good for 95% of the clips, and then there's a couple of clips in there that's just going to be horrific. And price as well, obviously it is a separate plugin. Now, don't quote me on the current price. Please click the link in the description below and go on Dehancer's latest website prices for the different plans and the different things that you need to get. And finally, who do I think Dehancer is best suited for? So everyone really. Professional colorists, indie filmmakers, people right at the beginning, because you can do photos as well within the online and the iOS version. You can do photos and video, but obviously I demonstrated on photos, so it's not just DaVinci specific, which I think is quality, that it's so varied for different parts of software and stuff like I would recommend it to anyone, to be honest. It doesn't matter if you think that you're above it and you wouldn't want to mess around with these plugins, but I would just say even adding film grain and stuff like that. Like within DaVinci, you do have film emulations and LUTs and halation effects and stuff like that. But I quite like that this what Dehancer have done has added everything in one node. It's all in one good go, and you don't have to have multiple nodes for a halation node or whatever node, blah 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 blah. You can see as I was going through, you can add stuff on and all on one node, which I found gleaming. And if you wanted to add a grain effect across the whole timeline, you obviously can do it with that. But I just think it's really good program. But I was planning on having this as like a 15-minute video. It's probably going to be like half an hour at least, so do bear with me if it's half an hour. I've thoroughly enjoyed going through all of the different integrated bits, like the iOS, the online, the DaVinci. I am definitely going to be using this in the future. Let me know if you've already used it before. Let me know if this this video was useful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on this, and I'm going to edit at some point this week, edit that mini video and get that out to you in a couple of weeks, or a week. When this goes out, it'll be a week afterwards, so this will give me a week and a half to edit the edit this video and edit the mini video. So busy. I've got a week left of leave before I go back to work, and then I'll be doing work and this side hustle. So without further ado, like I said, like, subscribe, all of those cool things. Comment below what you thought about this. Comment below if you're thinking about doing it, getting this. And if you are thinking about getting this, I'll give you another gentle reminder. There is a 10% code in the description below. It is BBDIG10 for your 10% off discount code. So yeah, have a gander at that. And please let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video and what you thought about Dehancer. And if you already do use Dehancer, I'd love to know your thoughts on when you use it and how you use it. Because I would love this community of car filmmakers, colorists, photographers to all come together and build this quality community of creatives and like-minded people. So without further ado, thanks very much for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one.